Good morning, students and staff. This is Officer Stanley, the Fresno Police Department Student Resource Officer right here at Roosevelt High School. This morning I'm joining you in homeroom to talk about the subject of an active shooter. An active shooter is an individual actively engaged in killing or the attempted to kill people in a populated area. Victims are usually selected at random, and the event is unpredictable and it can move very, very quickly. Knowing what to do can save your life or the life of someone else. Now, there's different responses that our minds may do in these kind of situations. I like to refer to these as the 3 Ds. The first one is denial, and that's denying that anything's actually happening. The second one would be deliberation. That one's the kind of thing when you hear something, you're wondering to yourself, is that really going on? And then really doing nothing about it and not really responding to what you just heard. And then the third one is decisive movement. And that one's acting right away and doing something. This gives you the best chances of survival. When to act and how to act need to be very, very quickly. And there are 3 different kinds of actions that we can take in these situations. Those 3 options are: we can run, we can fight, or we can hide. Running is the best option when you are a great distance from the shooter and it's very likely that you'd be able to get away. If you choose to run, here are some helpful hints to help you in the process. You need to have an escape plan in mind. Leave your belongings behind you. Leave your backpack on if you happen to have it on, because it could be an extra layer of protection for you later on. Evacuate regardless of whether other people choose to do so or not. And as you are evacuating, if there's other people that are going toward the shooter, let them know that the shooter's behind you and to go in the opposite direction. And when you're running, don't run in a straight line, run in a zigzag pattern. It makes it more difficult for the shooter to be able to track your movements. And finally, when you are in a safe place, don't forget to dial 911. Hiding is the best option for you if you find yourself in a place where it's not going to be easy for you to escape, but you can find a place away from the shooter. Make sure that you hide in an area that's outside the shooter's view. Lock the door to the entry room, to the room that you are going into, or block it with large objects that make it more difficult for the shooter to gain entrance. And finally, silence your cell phone. Even on vibrate, shut it off. That way the shooter won't be drawn to your location if somebody happens to call you. Fighting is the last option, but fighting is a very critical option to you. So make sure to take it seriously. If you cannot run, you cannot hide, then you fight, because an imminent danger is right in front of you. When you fight, and you choose to fight, attempt to incapacitate the shooter. That means make it to where he can no longer shoot. Act with as much physical aggression as possible. Improvise weapons, such as that backpack that you were wearing earlier, and if you have to use it to throw at them, use fire extinguisher, pens, pencils, books, trash cans, whatever's available to you, use them as weapons. Commit to your actions, and if you have other people that are running with you and they're choosing to fight, then take them on 3-on-1, 4-on-1 if you can. It'll help make your odds better for survival in this situation. Finally, when you call 911, don't forget to tell the operator the location that you believe the shooter is at if you know where he is. Tell the operator the number of shooters and a physical description of the person. Tell them the kinds of weapons that you believe that the shooter is using and how many weapons they may have. And give an estimated number of the victims and where they may be able to find victims when they enter the area. When law enforcement arrives on scene, remain calm and follow their instructions. Keep your hands up with your fingers out so that they know that you're not a threat to them and that you aren't carrying any kind of weapons or improvised devices. Listen to their instructions. Avoid pointing and screaming, adding more chaos to the situation. Do not ask questions while you're being evacuated. Just go to the area where they're evacuating you to and remain there until they have all the information they need from you and they've released you back to your parents or your loved ones. Students or staff members, you may have some questions about this presentation today. If you do, please share them with your homeroom teacher and they will get the information to me, and I will be following up with you in another video in the next week or two in order to respond to some of the more commonly asked questions. In conclusion, Rough Riders, what defines us as humans is not the tragedies we face, but how we respond to these tragedies. Tragedies can possibly be avoided. We are all safety officers, so remember, when we see something, we say something. Let's keep our campus safe together this holiday season, Rough Riders.